Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So we've got the handicap marks for the hurdlers. Just a quick shout out for one on Saturday. Batman Girac has been given 133. I know quite a few people are liking that for the Boodles. The handicapper has given a mark of 133. Is that what you was after? I don't know. Looking at back at the racing over the weekend, there was 3 or 4 that I was interested in looking at the handicap marks, and I've gone for just 2 in the end that I'm going to put down as horses to keep an eye out for their new marks. I did look at Samuel Spade, who dropped £1. I just felt the race might be a bit too good for him, and yeah, he might win a lower class race, but he's not going to be a big price or anything. Nemean Lion, if he jumped the last, would have beaten JJ Riley, but did go up £5 for that. So we're looking at 2 others from that actual race, from the Lanzarote. The first one is Teddy Bleu, who has dropped £1 to 131, and I think that's interesting because this was his first attempt over this sort of trip. As you can see, he'd always been running over 2 mile, went up to 2 mile 5 at Kempton and ran well. He actually came there travelling really nicely round the outside, and then didn't quite get home, possibly. Now, he's very reminiscent of a horse, and I'm actually just trying to load up his details. Let me just pause the video whilst I find that horse. The only difference is I'm not totally sure he wants the step up in trip. The horse that he reminds me of, the way he came into the race and then didn't quite pick up, is actually Outlaw Peter, who pulled up in this Lanzarote last year. But he then went to Musselburgh for a novice hurdle and got beat, before winning a novices hurdle and then actually winning a race back at Kempton, only worth 20 grand, but it's still 20 grand. And I wonder whether that's where we might see Teddy Bleu back for this race again, for this race in March. And the reason for that is, if it didn't work and he didn't go well and he disappointed, say he dropped back to a mark of, I don't know, 130, that would put him right in the mix with the marks that he ran at Plumpton, when winning the Sussex Champion Hurdle, and when he was second in the Swinton at Haydock. He finished second off 132. Well, he's now down to 131, so actually he's £1 better off already. And I wonder whether they might go, let's not bother with the Cheltenham, Aintree, and let's work on those races in the summer. Obviously, or this early spring or late spring, obviously they may think, actually, we're going to go for the Betfair Hurdle again. He finished third in that race last year off a mark of 132, so he would be £2 lower than when being beaten by Oaken Risk and Filey Bay. I'm just not sure that, his previous efforts this season over 2 mile haven't been as good. And the Betfair Hurdle is a really strong 2 mile hurdle. I think he could get away with it in a Sussex Champion Hurdle and a Swinton, because they're not generally as competitive. Whereas the Betfair Hurdle, you're going to find so many well handicapped horses that want 2 mile. And I just think that maybe they should stick him over that 2.5 mile trip at Kempton again. There is actually one in February. They could try February, they could try March. If neither of those work, then they could definitely come back for the Sussex Champion Hurdle. They'd probably end up, I don't know, if they got beaten both of those, 131, 129, 127 potentially, £1 lower than when winning the Sussex Champion Hurdle, and then, maybe only a few pound in it for the Swinton Hurdle. So that's what I hope they do with Teddy Bleu, and don't go to Cheltenham, don't go to anything that's beyond him at this stage. He is only 6, so you do still have plenty of time with him. And the next one I want to talk about is a really quite out of the box horse here. I don't think many people will have been talking about this horse with handicaps in mind, or with a particular handicap in mind. I think everyone's overlooked him, and they've not been watching this horse carefully. And that horse is Langadan. Now, I am joking. I'm not joking about the horse, but I'm joking about him being ignored and forgotten about, and everyone's been watching it. I mean, there's a few tweets going around about people losing weight and saying this is what they've been doing with Langadan. Clearly, it was the plan again. Get him dropped out, not involved. What did he drop? £2? £2 to 141. What mark did he win the Coral Cup off?